everyone, we've got a brand new game for you. It's called Redmen Picks, and each and every Liverpool game you get a shot at winning part of £1,000 prize pool. It is completely free to enter. All you've got to do is pick your answers to a few simple Liverpool football related questions, and if you come top, you can take home the big prize. Oh yes indeed. Don't forget, you need to be 18 plus. Make sure that you remain gamble aware, and you can check all the terms and conditions as well by clicking the link. Get involved with Redmen Picks today and get yourself involved with the £1,000 prize pool.
Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. It is the Starting 11 prediction show. It's Liverpool at Anfield with 10,000 fans versus Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace. And this is the Starting 11 prediction show brought to you today by Redmen Picks. So we're going to get into it. Going to be a largely unchanged side, I think. With a little bit of a discussion around the midfield and stuff like that. But for this one, Alisson Becker is no doubt going to start. Andy Robertson, Reece Williams, Nat Phillips and Trent Alexander-Arnold at the back. I think that's our best back five, and the way that they've been playing, obviously a clean sheet the other night and stuff like that. You wouldn't make any changes to that one, so there's no thought, I think, of dropping Fabinho in or randomly bringing Billy Kometio in. That's the back five. I wouldn't bring Kostas Tsimikas in or Nico Williams. The midfield's the question mark, isn't it? So I've got Fabinho. I'm going to stick for now with Wijnaldum and Thiago. So completely unchanged. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino. And I think there are question marks over whether you change one of the midfielders. I don't really think you can change any of the front three. Don't think you can change any of the back five. But while we've been sort of picking our form up over the last sort of few weeks and stuff, we've seen James Milner start, we've seen Kurt Jones start, and we've seen Gini Wijnaldum start. So when we get to the comments section, we'll discuss all of them. Substitutes-wise, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's going to be Alisson, Kostas, Nico, Billy Kometio, James Milner, Kurt Jones, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Xherdan Shaqiri and Divock Origi. Now, if Diogo Jota is fit, of which there is a small chance that he's going to be available, swap probably one of them out for Diogo Jota, and I'd guess it would be Divock Origi, maybe. Although maybe you'd want to drop one of the fullbacks out because you could use James Milner. So maybe Nico or Kostas goes. Because the idea would be, if we're in dire straits, you'd probably want to have Divock and Jota there, just in case. We'll get into some of the comments now. We'll discuss the team a little bit more, but I do want to tell you a little bit about Redmen Picks. So first of all, we've got that Win Me for the PlayStation 5. If you want to enter that prize draw, you've got until the 31st of May. It's £5 for a ticket, and you'll be in with a chance of winning that PlayStation 5. But the game itself, it's a prize pool of £1,000 as normal. First prize up to £500. Simple questions. Takes about 2 minutes to sign up for this. Will Liverpool score in the first half? I've gone with yes. Will Liverpool score in the second half? I've gone with yes. How many goals? I've gone 3. How many goals will Liverpool concede? None. Will we beat Palace? Yes. Will Mo Salah score? Yes. Will Sadio Mane score? I've gone with yes. Will Andrew Robertson assist? Well, he got one the other night. In fact, he got 2 the other night, so I've gone with yes. How many tackles will Trent make? 3. How many tackles will Thiago make? 2. How many saves will Becker make? 4 plus, and 3 plus shots for Mo Salah. And it's literally that simple. That's how you submit your picks. And yeah, that's it. I mean, literally, last game week, if I just scroll back to the top, I didn't need to do that. We can look at the leaderboard for the last game, which was Liverpool-Burnley, and you can see there, Lily Langmaid won £500. For a free game. You need to get on this game. You have to be 18 plus. Terms and conditions do apply, of course, so you need to check them, and you've got to play responsibly as well. So we'll get into some of the comments and stuff now, and we'll start off with a super chat. Mohammed Mustafa, thank you so much. I know it is probably Gini's last game, but he was so lazy last time out with his passing, he can't be arsed. I think that's a bit harsh, to be frank. Sorry, the comments section's just completely disappeared, so we're just going to have to restart that. There we go, it's back. I think that's a bit harsh, personally. I don't think he was one of the better players on the night. I gave him one of the lower marks in player ratings last night, which was really fun to do, the old school way, actually. But I think you can question his performances this season, but I find it really difficult to question his willingness to do everything he can for Liverpool to win, because I think, you know, saying that he can't be arsed, that for me is too far. Like, I think, you know, when everything else has fallen down around him, Gini Wijnaldum's been there a constant. And why I'm so upset that Gini's leaving, and I think we need to freshen up the midfield, and I think we can see that probably it's going to be Fabinho, Thiago and Jordan Henderson next season. But the big thing for me is I've adored this Liverpool side, the one with Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez and Joel Matip, Robertson, Trent, Fabinho, Henderson, Mane, Firmino, Salah and Gini Wijnaldum. I've adored this side. It's been the best side over the last sort of, obviously, the 2 years previous to this that I've ever witnessed. And I'm 38 years old and I've been a Liverpool fan all my life. And it feels like he's the first one of the greatest Liverpool side that I have ever seen to go. And that upsets me, because that means it makes me realise that at some point they're all going to go, and it's not going to be that long because he's the first one. You know, we might see more lads go out the door. I don't think any of the players that I've named necessarily will go out the door. Maybe Joel Matip, something like that. But it really upsets me to think that this could be the end of an era almost, or the beginning of the end of an era. Now, hopefully we go on and we improve and we get better, and I forget those sort of sorrows. But yeah, I just can't. I can't at the moment. So I think Kabak question mark says Zub 41R. I don't think he's fit, to be honest with you. Samuel Ifije, Oxo Virgini. I can't imagine that Oxo will start a game right now for us. Maybe next season if he's still around and stuff like that. We talked about this actually on the build-up show, the final word for last night's game earlier this morning. I'd be really shocked if Oxlade-Chamberlain started this game because I think Jurgen's got at least two other options on the bench already from what I've picked there in obviously James Milner and Kurt Jones, which are probably ahead of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in starting games. Obviously, we saw him with a great little cameo last night, get a wicked little goal as well. But I do feel like, for me, I wouldn't mind seeing that if Gini's not to start, or in fact Kurt Jones. I think we've got to keep Fabinho and Thiago in there. You've just kind of got to say to them, one more game, lads. So for me, it's about who from these three players is going to start alongside Thiago and Fabinho in the middle of the park. Kurt Jones deserves it. James Milner deserves it. Gini Wijnaldum, for me, deserves it. It's going to be a difficult one for Klopp, because he's obviously, you know, it looks likely that it'll be Gini Wijnaldum's last game in a red shirt. Does he bring him on maybe for a round of applause towards the end if the results go in our way, or does he take him off for a standing ovation and start him? So Radbood says, yeah, it's way too big of a game to play Ox, lads. Senate Panunkar says, I think it will be Gini. Uncle Sachi says, Ox for striker, Bobby in the 10. Gini's taken a lot of stick off fans that he deserves a massive stand ovation this Sunday. Legend, says Aaron Finnegan. I fully agree with that, and I can't wait to give him that standing ovation, because he has been an absolute legend for Liverpool. He really, really has. He's been integral in one of the best sides, the best side that I've ever seen. Thiago is best, says Pius5. Gini slows the game, he also says. Klopp won't change the team, but Ox coming in earlier, says DD. We could see Ox again from the bench, couldn't we? I mean, it'd be nice to just sort of make this sort of a goal first half, a goal second half, or 2 goals in the first half, something like that, so that we can just enjoy it as fans. I'm really looking forward to getting to that stadium again. Obviously, since Atletico Madrid, it's been far too long. I can't remember the last time I've gone over a year without going to Anfield. It must be, wow, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, no, 25 to 30 years ago last time, you know, when I was a young lad and stuff like that. So yeah, a bit of a mad one for me to think that it's been a year and I've missed it so much. Luang Ringbamba just says Thiago, which he's been brilliant, hasn't he? And that's why you've got to keep Thiago and Fabinho in there, because I think what we're seeing from this right hand side with Trent, with Thiago and Mo Salah, that's our danger side at the moment. And it's mad, isn't it, when you consider that Robbo obviously gets 2 assists and Mane gets an assist. But it is what it is. Jack English says, I believe Ox will 100% be in. He needs a reward. He's got one in the oven, hasn't he? I just don't know whether he can do 90 minutes, and maybe Klopp doesn't need him to do 90 minutes. But again, we saw last night, good impact player as well. Marshall Ayoub says Thiago's been unbelievable, hands down. Prajwal Nepal, Fabinho didn't have a great game at Turf Moor, Nat and Fab at the back. Genie at 6 with Thiago and Milner ahead. He didn't have a great game, but I think he did well in protecting Williams and Phillips. Obviously, he's not going to protect the ball over the top, but I think he did quite well if you look at his stats and stuff like that with helping them out. I think in a forward sense, he probably wasn't as good as what we've seen. But again, these sort of lads here were the ones that were making everything work, weren't they, last night? Rad Bulls, trust me, Genie is going to play, guys. Disrespectful as fuck. He's literally a legend. He's won of the Champions League, for fuck's sakes. Reece for a goal on Sunday, says Dino LFC 7. That would be nice. He's come close over the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? With a couple of little volleys from corners and stuff like that. Peaceful just said we should play the main team as this is like a cup final, deciding whether we make the Champions League spot or not. And that's it. And that's why, for me, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain doesn't make it into that. I think Kurt Jones is ahead of him. I think James Milner's ahead of him. There's no way I'm pushing Jota into this side if he's only touch and go. At best, I think he's got a place on the bench, in break glass sort of, in case of emergency type player. Origi probably exactly the same. And you're not likely to see any of these, really, unless you're giving someone a big send-off. Reece Williams against Zaha is a horror show, says James Wesley. I said the same before Cavani at Manchester United, and he did all right against him, to be fair. Not gonna lie, I don't really want Genie in the team, just doesn't look hungry. Would prefer Millie, says Aaron Issick-Jones. I think a lot of people would be fine with James Milner in the middle of the park, wouldn't they? I think Rob Davies says, how about a 5 on Reece Williams scoring after Ali and Nat? I like that one, and I love that little black badge you've got. I think that's a 6-month membership, Rob, so thank you so much for being a member for 6 months. That's absolutely wicked. It must have been about the time that we actually started it. Why change a winning formula? Team go out and do the business, fingers crossed, says Aaron Finnegan. Agreed. Zaha's pretty underrated, says Marshall. Origi for the last 2 minutes for a send-off, says Rob Barrows. He's been a bit of a cult hero. Kevin, one of our YouTube members as well, yellow badge for Kevin. I would want Milner over Genie, but this will be his last game for Liverpool, so I wouldn't be against having his moment in front of the fans before he leaves. Yeah, could it be Milner's last game? We just don't know, do we? Jack Inglis, Nat versus Benteke will be a class matchup. Yeah, just two fellas heading each other. Benteke scored 10 goals this season, you know. He's not he scored more goals than Firmino, he scored more goals than Mane, he scored more goals than Diogo Jota. So we probably do need to have a little bit of a worry about him. Eze is out, being better than Zaha, Aiden Ball. Yeah, Eze's a bit of a player, isn't he? Obviously caught the eye. It was a key PR. Definitely caught the eye there. Would love Sadio to bag a few to take some confidence into next season, said John Cahill. He needs it, doesn't he? You can see that in his game. I mean, yesterday he started all right and he got a little bit better. He started to try and take on players and stuff like that, but you can just see that it's just not clicking. Fergal says, will you lads return to Twitch soon? I'm not sure, actually. We might have something planned over the summer and stuff like that, but something that I do miss, but we just don't have the time and haven't had the time the last few months. And yeah, so rather than just shit it out, we kind of stopped it. Alan Field, let's just win. I would celebrate like a cup final after this season. It's massive, isn't it? I mean, finishing 4th or 3rd, arsed, but Paul said it best, I think, in the Uncensored Match build-up show. You don't make it and you set back for a year, minimum, maybe 2, maybe 3. You've just got to get that Champions League to try and get yourselves in the ring for some big players, and I think that's what we all want as fans this summer. So fingers crossed that Liverpool do it. I've got confidence that we're going to do it. 10,000 fans, Anfield, big party, final day of the season with something to play for. Yeah, count me in. Anyway, don't forget to check out Redmen Picks. As I mentioned, you have to be 18 plus, you have to gamble aware, play responsibly, and you have to check the terms and conditions, of course. Thank you for the support all season long on this show and every other show. It's been a pleasure doing the player ratings and the starting 11 predictions and everything else that we've done. Once more with Feeling Liverpool Football Club, once more to ride into next season's Champions League. You know why it's a good prize? Because next season we might win the Champions League, but if you want to win the Champions League, you've got to be in it, so we've got to make sure the top 4 works. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Hey everyone, we've got a brand new game for you. It's called Redmen Picks, and each and every Liverpool game you get a shot at winning part of £1,000 prize pool. It is completely free to enter. All you've got to do is pick your answers to a few simple Liverpool football related questions, and if you come top, you can take home the big prize. Oh yes indeed. Don't forget, you need to be 18 plus. Make sure that you remain gamble aware, and you can check all the terms and conditions as well by clicking the link. Get involved with Redmen Picks today and get yourself involved with the £1,000 prize pool.